Ethan.
And a quick question for you, Ethan. Am I recording right now?
Yeah, so, guys. Let me level with you.
Level with him.
I'm not a pro at this.
Neither am I.
And, we've done this before, man.
Yeah, we actually had one episode prior to this. So
it's kind of, deja vu-y, I'd say.
How do you figure?
Well, so we've done this entire episode before. And what occurred was I sent these off to RoboPat to edit, and somehow none of Ricky's audio existed.
Yeah, he had a 404 not found error on my recording, and
mine was perfect though. So.
He short circuited, and we actually had to reboot him, which was crazy.
I actually kind of thought about just putting out the episode with only me.
Oh yeah, you think that would have worked?
Well, maybe.
I mean, yeah, well, that would have been great for them to.
So what were we supposed to be talking about today, Rick?
So this episode, we are going to give ourselves an in-depth, spoiler-ridden review of Promised Neverland Season 1. And we're going to go into the great daddy debate of 2019. Now, last episode, we did mention we were going to give our favorite Netflix original animes, but we found that to be a little bit dense. We didn't want y'all sitting around for an hour and change, you know?
Right. So the previous recording was probably an hour and 20 minutes, and it's pretty thick. So we decided to move that section to maybe episode 4, 5, 6. Who knows?
How thick? How many C's you thinking? How thick? I'm thinking 3 C's.
At least 6 C's.
6 C's. We've gone beyond C.
We're 4D chessing.
4D chessing with our thickness of episodes.
All right, Rick. So let's step into Promised Neverland with the simple fact that shiz was absolute fire.
It was amazing. Now, before we do really dive into it, we did say last episode that we wanted to warn you about the potential spoilers, and it's not potential; they're actual.
Oh yeah, we're gonna spoil everything, like every little thing you could possibly think of, like a twist. We're gonna talking about.
We're gonna try. Oh yeah, but
and some theories.
Oh yeah, we got some theories for y'all. So, wanted to ask you first, Ethan.
Yes.
Of the 3 main kids, Ray, Norman, and Emma, who's your favorite and why?
Yeah, so obviously all 3 super sick.
Dude, they all have their part to play in the trio dynamic, and it was great.
Yeah, they all kind of fit together, but for me, I liked so Ray and Norman are actually more similar than I think the show wants you to believe.
At least at first.
Well,
definitely.
No, I think long term, because they are both willing to fall on the sword for everyone else.
Oh yeah, in their own way,
right?
For sure, I can see that.
So it was like, I don't know, it was such a interesting character choice, and I loved that. But I think I liked Norman's methods a lot more.
They're the ones that worked in the end,
right? His original plan for them after he came back from his possible escape. Like, he gave them the roadmap, but they had to really fill it in.
Right.
So that's where the rest of them came in. But Norman, I think, he was like a really solitary, like, he had all this stuff in his head from the very beginning, basically.
It was what Ray said.
He basically had to, like, sit there and kind of, reconcile the fact that, we probably aren't going to be able to take everyone. We probably, all 3 might not even get out, right? So I don't know. I felt like he was a more realistic character in a lot of ways. So some things about Ray that I loved was, I think if you put yourself in his shoes or his point of view, like killing yourself to rob them of the brain.
What a sniper level shot.
Like
it's right where it hurts.
Savage as an absolute monster, but it's also like, it's like defeatist. Like, he thought basically there's no chance of him getting out because of all the shit that he remembers from when he was he didn't have infantile amnesia, which means he remembers everything from the friggin' womb.
Gross. I hate it. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just imagine
But
that,
I mean,
man.
For somebody who knows all that to, like, basically decide, I'm just going to freaking end it all and then
in a weird
move
way,
on from there.
In a weird way, Ray prescribed to the way his mother reacted to learning the truth. He knew the truth the whole time, but Isabel.
Hey guys, spoiler.
Yeah, spoiler.
Isabella or Isabel. Is it A or A?
I'll do one. You do the other.
Okay.
So Isabel.
Isabel is Ray's mama.
Mama. It's and Ray knows it. Ray knew it.
Sure does, and he's known the entire effing show.
And when Isabel, found out about the truth, she worked the best she could in the system while not really being hopeful about escaping it. Ray had the same concept, but he took it just a slight step further by saying, at least it is possible if I do this plan that I may not be able to escape this, but at least I can land a hearty blow to my mama and get everyone else out. Like that's a big part of why I like Ray's character so much, because he didn't just give in to despair and stop hoping. He was like, "Oh yeah, watch this," and then it got mad lit. Like
but he took like I was saying, the nihilistic defeatist approach.
Right.
But Emma comes through and takes the approach like, look, the odds are stacked against us, but by all means, we are going to freaking survive this, right?
Right. Not just me and not just us, everyone.
Well,
right.
Until
and that's why I think for me personally, if I had to have a favorite, it might be Emma, because she
evolved the most, I'd say.
She did, and it was cool because she didn't lose hope, but she didn't give in to just the whimsical hopefulness of, we're going to save everybody. She had it early in the season. She did make a compromise, but it doesn't mean that the compromise, it's more temporal. It's like, okay, we know that you're not going to get shipped out till you're 6, so Phil, you and the youngins stay on back.
Can I just say, Phil is obviously the best character
He's
in the whole show.
Dude. He took that news.
This little baby
in stride. He was 4 years old.
He's a toddler, and he literally had already figured all this out before they told him.
Right.
And then he also plays a massive role in them actually escaping, because he paused her enough to keep her there with the young kids.
Right.
Like if you think about it, if she had gotten, away earlier and didn't have to notice those kids there, she would have caught them easily.
Right.
At least the 4 that were still up there at the end.
Exactly. And I think when it comes to let Phil's situation sink in for you for a second. You are a 4-year-old child, Ethan. Your big sister comes to you and says, "Ethan, I need to let you know something. We're food for demons. And your parents are raising you, or parent really, is raising you to be food. How you feel?" And Phil was just like, "Yeah, bro, I knew." Okay, I knew.
Well, he
kind of had a feeling, didn't he?
I like that he said, I had a feeling, I kind of was piecing this together.
Right.
But then he still cried because he's a little baby boy.
Yes.
And he didn't want all his brothers and sisters to die.
Right.
And that was so damn endearing.
He cried for his
Plus, they
fan.
made that kid so freaking cute.
He cried for his fan.
He's the cutest damn kid.
I liked Phil a lot. But, yeah, man, Emma was great. I think she's going to be the, big brain play. I don't know. Ray, I think he got played. He got played. He knew he got played. That even when he was standing on the wall watching this plan that got 5 times as many kids out as he originally thought,
right,
play out in front of him, he still couldn't believe that this was even possible. So I wonder how he's going to go forward in season 2.
I mean, I think realistically, you'd have to hope that he kind of, obviously he still puts in the big ideas, but he kind of lets Emma do a little bit more of the legwork in terms of the team.
Yeah.
Because I found that really interesting. Norman, basically the way he looked at it is he had to decide how to escape for everyone. Mm-hmm. Then Ray looks at it as, I'm going to kill myself so that everyone can escape. And then, Emma comes at it from, let's all do this together because we're not going to get out otherwise, right?
Right.
She makes a hard decision. We can't take the little kids, but we still have this, this buffer to come back and get them, right?
Right.
Which was super sick. And then, so they all 3 of them took their situation in a different way, even though they're all super genius, super athletic kids. So that was really, really cool to see.
Yeah, there was no there's no doubt they had to take people there, and I think Norman, the second he saw that cliff,
Right.
He knew, like, there's no way me and Emma and Ray are gonna be able to do this.
Yeah.
Not even a chance. That's like he finally surmounted what he thought was the final boss of Escape, and then whoops, second stage of the boss. Here we are.
Who came in super clutch there, Rick?
Yeah.
Who did?
Pretty much the shoes.
The shoes did, but
the shoes did.
Don. My guy was a crybaby idiot the whole show, and then he comes in with like a major league from the freaking warning track to home plate launch.
Dude, yes.
To save the kiddies.
Don was our hero from the moment he got his shit together. That even in me, Ethan, and RoboPat's chat, we were the Don boys. Don was the man. Oh my God. So the one character I wanted to bring up, I want to get your thoughts on this character, was Sister Crone.
Yes.
What were your thoughts about Sister Crone's character? And I mean, I have a couple thoughts. I want to hear what you have to say about. Do you like her? Did you hate her? What were you thinking about Sister Crone?
I feel like the art was a little weird.
The art?
Yeah, like they made her look so strange.
Yeah.
Like obviously all the torture and stuff she went through made her strange. And like I guess if I had to picture her as a kid, I'm not sure if they did show her as a kid. They might have, but I would picture her more as like Canary.
I was just gonna say Canary from Hunter x Hunter.
From Hunter x Hunter.
Ah, yes.
But I don't know. They made her look really weird, and I wasn't sure what exactly they were playing on there. Like she was just like really like a gargantuan figure, and I was wondering if they were bringing her in to be this like this extra threat, because I think that was originally what the thought was, but then. If they hadn't brought her in, I don't know that we would have known that the mothers and all these women are actually children that grew up.
Exactly. I think Sister Crone's addition showed the trio that a life existed outside. It's not just Mom. It's not just Isabel.
Well, a life existed outside is kind of iffy because it's still within this system.
Right.
But I think what was interesting is she did come back with information.
Yes.
And they basically completely played Sister Crone.
Oh, she got
like they
such
absolutely
shafted.
ran her.
Oh my God.
And she thought she was running them the whole time. That's what was so like. That was so like, oh my God, they're double reversing her.
She just got mollywopped and got totally. That's when. And even I can't remember if she knew that when she was getting promoted or whatever or moved. That she really genuinely thought that, like, oh, I'm getting a promotion. I'm going to be a mom, like, on my own farm. And then big head bitch in charge grandma steps in and be like, you fucked up. You done fucked up. And then big daddy demon was like, get over here. And just like,
just scorpions at it.
Basically, yeah. Get over here. Just fatality to her, man. You just totally sucked her juices? I don't know. I'm still not really sure what they do. It looks like they put like a little like flour in them and just.
I was about to ask you about that.
Yeah.
So there's like two big things of imagery within the show that I kept seeing like throughout, you know, the intros, the outros, and then sprinkled throughout the show.
Right.
That was the shoes that kept coming up, and then these roses.
You did mention the shoes. The roses I have an idea about. The shoes, you did mention last time we tried to, record this episode that...
You mean before RoboPat screwed it up?
He screwed the pooch, RoboPat, but you know what?
It wasn't him, it was me.
No, oh, man. That's why you got to leave the editing to RoboPat.
This is me.
This is why you got to leave the editing to RoboPat. So, thoughts on the shoes?
So... I actually been thinking about that ever since the first time that we talked about this.
Yeah.
And I think I have a better option this time. So for all you at home, you're lucky that I screwed this up.
Consider yourself lucky.
Yeah. I mean, for real.
Life doesn't give you second chances often, but here we are.
I think that deserves a 5-star review at minimum. Anyways.
Oh, yeah.
So
we care about y'all.
So I thought about it, and I was thinking maybe the shoes actually, they kind of have a twofold purpose. They show that they're cared for because they are nice shoes and like relatively robust construction. Mm-hmm. But then they also like allowed them to actually escape in a weird way.
Yeah.
Like they're strong, like really well-built shoes that they are going to then take off into the world and explore. I mean, they looked a little bit like Clark's
They kind of did, and whoever the scene directors or the head animators or the key framers, they put a lot of attention on those shoes.
They were so detailed too. Yeah. Every stitch you could see.
And we kept thinking why.
Yeah,
and you were the one with the thoughts on it because I didn't even consider it.
Because even the shirts and the pants they were wearing were basically just white.
Yeah, they're just basic ass
So then your question is, why are you spending so much time on the shoes?
Yeah,
like, from an animated perspective, like they have to literally draw these like thousands of times.
That's basically Sakshuga. That's some mean animation. Weebology lesson for you. Sakuga is, those really pretty fight scenes that are like frame by frame drawn. They pull in animators for those to get you some sweet frameage action. And they did that for shoes.
Yeah.
For shoes. It's crazy to me.
I don't know. I think maybe I'm hoping season 2 they kind of like there gets to be some point to that because it was really, really interesting.
Yeah.
And then, what's your theory on the roses?
The roses to me is, if we're going into a literary illusion kind of aspect, it to me represents the harvest. It's them harvesting. It's as if you were collecting
totally
planet. Yeah. So they stick these white flowers in you, and then as soon as they are blooming, they are red, and you're like, oh, this is a body ready because they wouldn't put it in the tank. They didn't put Connie in the tank until the flower was red. So you're
right.
good to go.
This dude's got it.
So,
That's got to be the answer. Whoever created the show, just feel free to send a check to Rick.
Yeah. I feel like I just earned it. Give some kickbacks to him on the shoes,
Yeah, I mean, of course.
I feel he's earned it for the shoes. But,
you spent a lot of time on the shoes.
You put a lot of time on the shoes, and you wanted us to see the roses. Why wouldn't you want to,
the shoes ended up playing a little bit of a role because that's what tipped off Mama to the escape.
That was a good point you said last time, that it was like she wondered, like, wait, what shoes were all of the kids wearing?
Which makes her just like a super freaking genius.
Isabel was
which of course she is.
Stone cold genius. She broke Emma's leg without twitching. Just literally her merchandise. She fragged it. She's just like clean break. She knew how to break it to keep her immobile, but not like too broken for too long, which again, stone cold bitch. She a bad bitch. All jokes aside,
for real,
she
was nuts.
But
and she was a great addition to the show too. Because,
she was cool.
The whole, at least in the beginning, you're like, wow, she's like really a loving mother. Like this is such an interesting situation they find themselves in. And then you find out she's just like this absolute stone cold psychopath.
And she believes every word she's saying too. She still does love those kids.
And then even more, she's like harvesting them so they don't have to face the disappointment of not being able to escape.
Yeah.
Which is like obviously a strange way to look at it, but in her own way, she's still doing what's best for the kids.
Right. She is given into despair a long time ago, and her conversation with Emma, for me, is one of my favorite scenes in that season because her telling Emma to just give up and you have all the right stuff for a ma, I can get you to the best deal you can in this world as a woman. But to me, that conversation represented her trying to validate her choice because she got to the ravine by herself. No problem. And then she looked out, she realized, oh, this is insurmountable by myself. And her only option was die or become a mother. And she wanted to validate her decision by ensuring that Emma, who she saw a lot of herself in, would make the same choice. And the fact that she didn't was why she felt so liberated at the end. She let her hair down. She said good luck. She waved him off.
Right. And I think it was interesting because Isabella was just like so gifted, like solely. Right. Like I think not only could she obviously wasn't very open with the rest of the kids in her house because it was only her up there.
Right.
But she might have just been so gifted and no one else was even close.
She maybe had nobody else.
Right.
Yeah.
So in Mama's house,
it's Mama's house.
she had made so many like high quality kids that it actually made it possible for a group to actually escape.
Ooh.
I hadn't really thought about that till just now, and I'm kind of a genius.
This man's earning his kickbacks right now. We're earning our kickbacks. So.
Well, since I messed up the first time, so
he deserves the kickbacks. But so quick segment at the end. We did talk about we had a couple conspiracy theories, and I had some questions. I wanted to pick your brain about that.
Do you think Norm is dead?
No. Absolutely not.
Yeah, I think we definitely agree on this. We think
he's
I think that he's being milked like a cow.
Oh no. with some of that man milk.
Yeah,
oh god. Well, at least he's being trained for that right now. Like he's probably being adjusted, and I know saying this 12-year-old getting milking training is the grossest thing I think I'll say in a long time, but at the same time that's probably what, if you think about it.
I mean, I fully believe they're just going to like kill the dude. Like I don't think they're going to just make him like end up growing up and becoming a dad to a bunch of kids. I think they're gonna like artificially inseminate like the women.
I don't know, man.
The moms.
I think that you would want to keep. If I were in the demon alien monster shoes, I would be like, whoa, this man's top percentile. I want his genes in my food. Let's get him. He is that USDA grade A choice cut man genes. Let's get that into our women. Let's get that into our mothers, and let's get some sweet ass brains. Let's do that. Let's get some juicy top percentile brains. They got those kids Iowa testing in there,
right.
No one's business. You would want to have more and more, stock for good gene material.
I mean, I could see that. I just don't know. In between, like...
He's going to big brain him. He's going to...
Well, I just don't know what exactly are they doing with all these dudes that they're keeping. They must be somewhere.
How many dudes are they keeping? That's the question. How special is Norman? If he is alive, and I'm pretty sure he is, how special is Norman? I'm curious to see him...
Yeah, I guess they didn't really explain, like, how many top scorers globally there are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because obviously they're keeping everything separate. But that is a great question. If there's multiple top scorers within this like compounds, that would be interesting to see that kind of.
Is he really truly top percentile?
Yeah. Is there like
or is he the lowest of the best?
Competition between them? Like, what's the deal there?
More Iowa testing.
But like when he went in that side room, I was like, oh, he's not dead.
Nope, he's not.
Absolutely not.
Question I had for you though: who is the author with the Morse code, aka Minerva? The one who is seemingly this last piece of this puzzle that was never once explained.
Yeah, so I think it's Norman who found a time machine and grew old, wrote this in a book.
Man, our mics are pretty good because you couldn't hear him put the tinfoil hat on just now. He went crazy. Ethan was like, well, foil hat.
It could be like a previous father, to be honest.
I wouldn't put it past like definitely kind of like a synonym under Minerva, but for me, I wonder if it's grandma. I wonder if it's the head bitch in charge, because after seeing Isabel, try to like game the system as far as she could, if someone were truly next level, the reason why I say it might be the grandma is because she seems to be the one communicating with all the mothers. She'd be the one who would probably be the one controlling the information the kids get to read. She's like the one in charge of fostering the children by proxy. She sends the mothers to go foster the children. So you'd think that there'd be someone controlling the educational aspect of these kids, and what better way to do that is give them a library full of books. And if you go under a certain author and give these clues, that might be her way of telling them to escape the system. This is how I'm contributing to this breaking out. Because I couldn't, but I know a way that I can get other kids like me with the big brain advantage to get out.
Yeah, I think it's definitely an interesting theory, because potentially you could see that if she also just decided like there's no way I can really get out, but I can try my best to get as many kids out as I can. But They just have to be so freaking smart, or else they're not going to get there.
But yeah,
and it makes sense that she would be controlling the information and the learning.
Yes. I think for me, the last piece, it's a bit of a far-fetched piece of the theory, but Morse code is what this mystery author used to communicate with these children. And Morse code to me seems like a very human invention. I wonder if it's a way to kind of keep things undercover from these demon monster aliens. Depending on the history of these particular demons, they may not know much of they only seem to care about human as livestock. They never really mentioned they care about their raw intelligence, but not really their any of their culture, our culture.
Yeah, I think
Might be far-fetched.
I'm really hoping in season 2 we get more of like a world scope, because that would really answer some of these questions.
It would give us kind of
I think one thing that does kind of lend to your theory is like Minerva is that, goddess of like being smart and like studious and stuff like that.
The symbol was an owl, wasn't it?
Right.
It was the owl in the middle.
It would kind of symbolize most of what you're saying from this like
utilize the
this
intelligence.
woman within the middle of this organization is still able to kind of like sneak these things out.
Right.
So I can get behind you there.
And last one is Phil a demon? More 11.
No, I don't think Philly's a demon. He's too cute.
Nah, he's an angel.
He could be. He's definitely a deity of some sort.
No, Phil the god of trickery. He's basically a demigod of trickery. He's Loki. He's low key. Phil is low key Loki. That's what he is.
So there's one more thing I wanted to talk about in relation to Promised Neverland, is that it gave it like from a media perspective, it felt a lot like Maze Runner.
It did, didn't it? Yeah.
Because it was these kids kind of locked in these individual kind of arenas, let's just say.
Right.
And they had to like get out. Like obviously they were trying to keep them in and eat them. But if what we're kind of theorizing that the grandma or even mama was like trying to raise kids so smart that they could escape, it kind of does start slotting into this like whole like universe of the Maze Runner universe.
Yeah, and
maybe it's a precursor.
Ooh, my goodness!
Maybe the demons are what wipe out the earth.
I knew it. That's the thing. That was my one other question. It's not really too much of a conspiracy theory. It's just more of a thought experiment. Is the farm itself felt to me like a test? Like itself escaping it is the real test. Like it's kind of a meta test where they may be able to test kids inside that are not quite smart enough to escape, but they are smart enough to be high quality food, so they have their merit. But, when the alarms went off, and there are alarms, when someone notifies that a kid escapes, they mobilize dozens and dozens of troops to go try to capture these kids, right? But at the same time, if they use maybe a half or maybe a third of what they deployed as just guards to really keep them in, that doesn't seem unfeasible. So why not do that? Why use these seemingly yet obviously overcomable obstacles to keep them in? It almost seems like they want to be overcome. Requires teamwork, requires humanity, requires compassion for your other fellow kids. It requires a lot more than intelligence. I wonder if there are more aspects to truly top quality brain.
It's definitely a potential. I kind of wonder, is it other media that's influencing you to think that it's a test?
I totally think so.
Because like from a face value, like that's a massive freaking ravine.
It feels
they would not realistically think that. First of all, they probably didn't think even 3 kids could get on top of the wall, let alone
like 12 or 15.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, and but it just seems to me that like there's just enough holes in this quote unquote security. I don't know if you can hear me waving my air quotes, but it seems like the security was just good enough to keep most of the kids in, but if you really wanted to keep them in, it seems like you go further than tracking devices that seem not so specific. If they really cared, they would know where these kids are. I don't know. It's just
I think, to be fair, they don't expect most kids to find out the secret.
Right.
And like honestly, it was purely chance.
Right.
Unless Mama intentionally left the bear there so they would find out, which is a possibility.
Dude, that.
Well, because it was odd that all of a sudden this girl who's inseparable from her stuffed animal forgets her stuffed animal. What?
Ethan, do you smell that? It smells like fucking kickbacks, dude. It smells like kickbacks, man. That's an awesome theory because you're so right. This girl, you for the whole she got so much screen time in that first episode. She literally did not release it from both of her arms, and then she's out.
Well, that and the Isabel /
nice
knows her kids. Like, let's be real, she does know her kids very,
very well.
She
does genuinely care for her children.
So
yeah.
Why would she forget that one little thing? Like, what if halfway down she starts freaking out and she's like, no, I'm not going. You know what I mean?
True.
So I don't know. I'm still kind of workshopping the idea.
All right. I like it.
Or maybe Ray hid maybe Ray hid it because he knew that they needed to find out.
Right.
And he also already knew. And maybe he was like, this is the only way I can get them to figure it out. Because when they came back, he knew right away that they knew something was up.
It seems like a big brain scheme that Ray of all people would cook up, right? That would totally be. I don't know how he could plan that Emma would find it and the ones he wanted to follow him would find it, but I don't know. But I think there's something to be workshopped there. I think
I think it's an interesting theory.
Yeah, when season 2 comes out, I think a lot of stuff will be answered, or at least a number of these will either be debunked or confirmed. So, overall, kick-ass season.
Yeah,
highly recommend it. If you didn't watch it and you watched this first half, how dare you? First of all, how dare you? Yeah, you need to go watch it regardless of what we said, because it's, even if you know the details we just said,
but nothing we just said was negative. So that should tell you, like, look, we have got to go watch this if you haven't seen it yet.
And if you're part of the religion of the 3-episode rule, you don't even need 3 episodes.
Yeah,
you need one. 23 minutes and you are locked.
Yeah, you're in for the season.
You're in for the season. So, yes, I'm excited for season 2.
Me too.
So, we did advertise in this last episode about one of the greatest debates of all time.
I think it's the daddy debate of 2019.
The daddy debate of 2019. Who is a better father, Boruto's dad?
Correct.
Or Goku?
I have my answer. Do you want to give your answer first?
I'll give my
or do you
answer.
Want me to?
I'll give mine first. I think after a lot of research, it was a closer race than I expected, but I think Boruto's dad, a.k.a. Naruto, is a slightly better dad than Goku.
I think Goku is far and away a better father, a better papa than Naruto.
I feel so sorry for you with that opinion.
I mean,
that's a rough one.
Honestly, this might create a schism in the partnership, and then this whole thing's just going to crumble.
I'm going to leap over this table and drop kick you.
I think I'm going to break my computer over your head.
Oh, cool. It's a MacBook Air, so it'll snap in half.
Yeah, it's easy.
It's like plywood. Okay, so I think for me, Goku has a lot of showings as a shit dad. Like, way more than Naruto ever had. Like, ever. But I want to hear, like, why do you think that Goku is a better dad to, let's say, Gohan specifically? Because it was just, I don't know, man. It's just
Goku has 3 children, 2 children. So I'm not gonna just say only to Gohan.
It was the bulk of his parenting.
Try. It was a good try.
The bulk.
So
the bulk of his
the reason
parenting.
I think Goku is far and away better is, first of all, he is like in multiple parts throughout the series, he is the only one on Earth that can deal with these like galactic threats.
Right. I think that adds to why he's bad. Like, he threw his son into the fray despite being the man in charge of Earth's protected.
Well, I mean, I think he was basically saying that the rate at which Cell was like gaining, skills and regenning power, because he was getting all those Zenkai boosts that Saiyans would.
Oh, so, I guess he was.
Yeah.
Wasn't he? Yeah.
So, which I kind of lends to your point, where when he gives him the Sensu Bean, he actually is double as strong because he got a Zenkai boost literally right then.
Like, dude, why? So that's one of my
main... but here let me continue to go with my point.
Okay.
So I think Goku is better because, well, for a couple reasons. Number one, he grew up fighting. This is all he's ever known. He hasn't known like an office accountant job. You know what I mean? Like, he never really had the
motherfucker's unemployed. He's
unemployed because
he doesn't give jack shit to his family.
Dude.
He doesn't, man. Like, he doesn't provide anything.
Oh, really? Because Hercule wins a bunch of money and gives it all to Goku because he's the one that actually saved the world multiple times, right?
Oh my god!
So he does make some cash.
He wasn't out there getting that cash. Like, he wasn't out there grinding
he wasn't
for
out
that
there
money.
Getting the bread that way. But,
no.
You also get some money for saving the damn world.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just saying.
I mean, what? You got to remember though, Naruto is like he's the freaking POTUS essentially. He is like the president of the ninja world. He is leading that role, and still, on numerous occasions has a lot of time for his fam. Like, he goes out and gets like ramen with Boruto. He'll come home.
Let me just quickly say, Naruto has infinite chakra and the ability to make like 10 billion shadow clones.
Oh, is that a fact?
Just explain to me why he couldn't just either have a clone with them at all times or be there for like half of it and switch out with his clone. Like, there's absolutely no reason there should be any gap between daddy time and Boruto time.
But that's the thing. He did do that, and on a number of occasions, I want to say at least 2, he did have a shadow clone there for really important events, and it got busted because something happened. But that's what I'm saying
is he only would send a shadow clone. I understand he's kind of projecting on the rest of Konoha, saying like, I'm your daddy now. You're like,
that's how he's always seen it though. Like,
I know, but like, Boruto's not exactly wrong when he gets mad at him for only sending a clone, because he could just send the clone over to do paperwork. Nobody's gonna convince me that doing paperwork as the real Naruto is like somehow more valiant than being with your children. You're never gonna get me there.
All right. But one thing, like, what makes Goku a good dad to his kids? Like, what fatherly acts? Like, and
sure, here you go.
Yeah, hit me with that.
Like I said, all he knows is fighting. So wanting his son to be strong and like, basically, they only hang out when they get to fight and spar, because if Goku like stops at any point, like, think about it. Say after a Frieza arc, he stops training. Cell mollywops everyone, including Gohan, and everyone's just dead.
But here's the thing, like, to what end was Goku trying to get him strong? Was it just because I love my son, I want him to get stronger, or I think you're the only person who can beat Cell, you are my tool, you're my weapon to defend this planet?
I don't think it was ever a weapon situation. I think he noticed in the hyperbolic time chamber that this kid has like got something really special, which he noticed throughout the series. Like, he noticed at Raditz, because he didn't even bring his son there. His son just showed, like, either was captured beforehand or shows up later with Piccolo.
And Goku let that happen, but continue.
Well, let's be real. He was not anywhere near as strong as Raditz at that point.
Yeah, but still, man.
Anyways, so his options to hang out with Gohan are very low. Like, he can't train him in school. He just doesn't have many options, man. If he stops, everyone dies. And also, he loves fighting. He loves to be, like, this is his thing, right? He just loves growing stronger and, like, fighting new people and meeting, new opponents on the battlefield. And there's tons of times when Gohan, like, seems to start liking that as well. I agree, the Cell arc gets a little creepy when he just kind of like throws his kid out there and makes Cell stronger, and then also like breaks this wall within his son to like.
But that's
he like keeps pushing him to like freaking explode.
But that's my thing, right? Is that let me paint the picture. Is like he beats up on Cell. He actually gets him in a place where he's severely weakened, and then his son is probably ready at that point to get in there and finish the job. If he wanted his son to be the defender, that is a good way.
He does come in, and when he's about to explode, he takes him to King Kai's planet and dies for his kid and everyone else.
Man, to me that always felt like a shame move. Like, your hubris and your arrogance, you inherited that from me, but I'm going to make you, like, you did a good job, son. I guess I'll have to clean up your mess. And he's out.
But he tried to save him from having to do anything, really.
Would he have had to do that in the first place if he didn't feed Cell a frickin' sensu bean?
I don't know. And obviously, it's hard to, like...
And that's the one thing.
Pretend we understand Goku's intentions,
but the thing is,
like I'm saying, this is the only way he's connecting with his kid.
His intentions were clear when Gohan was initially fighting a healed Cell, and he was just standing there, arms folded,
because he's proud of his boy,
smiling as Cell's got him by the hair and just beating on his face. Is he not allowed to be
proud of his boy?
He could be proud of his boy all day as he's getting literally concussed 30,000 times in the face, and
he's proud of his boy. What do you want from him?
All these other Z fighters.
Just to say it.
I don't want to hear nothing. All these Z fighter cucks are sitting there like, even Yamcha's like, Bruh.
He's like, yo,
dude,
dang,
are
dude.
you literally insane? And he's like, my boy's got this. Yeah, oh, my boy's got this for sure. And he's just getting his ass kicked. It wasn't until he had a moment of, you know what? Android 16 was the one who pushed him over the edge.
He was a catalyst, certainly.
He was a catalyst.
And then at the end, the one-handed Kamehameha, he's there to help his boy.
Oh my God.
Post-cell arc.
Oh my God. He wasn't actually there.
He says, look, son.
If you don't do this now.
No, stop. He says, look, son, I think you should start studying and, like, do what your mother wants and become, like, someone that contributes to society.
Yeah, was that
like
before or after the planetary and solar system threat was defeated?
Yeah, that was after.
Yes.
That's exactly my point, is that all these massive threats are what is keeping him from just letting his son be a kid. I think in this world, he does not have the option to, like, basically stop training, and he also doesn't have the option to let Gohan, who he knows is a freaking beast, like, quit. Then later in the series, Vegeta is watching Gohan. I think he was, like, sparring with somebody else, and he's like, wow, you let your son get really weak. And he's like, it's okay, you know? Like, I genuinely believe that he loves his kids, and he tried really hard, but it's just not from his frame of reference. Like, he had nothing else to base, like, being a good father on. Look at the Ox King. That dude loved Chi-Chi and was, like, all over her, but he wasn't exactly a good dad either.
I mean, but the thing is, he had a job to do. He had literally
he didn't have to fight an planetary global threat.
But that's what Naruto is doing. He has the same job, plus being basically the leader of the ninja world. And then,
but here's a problem.
He still makes time for his fam as a father. I think
the infrastructure for Naruto is massive. He has an entire village. He has all these people working for him. He has a peaceful time until Momoshiki shows up, which is, like, a significant period after Boruto is born.
Right. And the thing was,
I'm just saying, I think he could easily make more time for his kids, and he doesn't.
Okay. But here's the thing. When Boruto was born to when he's about 6 or 7, this is before Naruto is Hokage. So in all those 8, why Boruto was so bitter, I think we got to not look at it from the perspective of the kids, because Gohan gushes over his dad even in its worst times.
I was going to bring this up,
but I'm saying,
it is crazy.
But we can't look. I think that's a fallacy to look at their particular viewpoints of their father, because Boruto's so bitter because all he knew up to 7 years old was his father always being around, being literally the most bomb-ass dad of all time. And then he became the Hokage, and that's why Boruto's so bitter and paints his dad in a pretty negative light. But if you come at it, Boruto is still, he's still getting fatherly time with his dad a lot. But look at Gohan from 4 and 5 years old. I mean, what happened? Goku got killed.
This dude's been dead for a lot of his life. Like, I think a lot of these things are out of Goku's hands, and I just feel like Naruto does have the ability to kind of fill this gap with his son. You know what? I don't think we're going to agree.
But can we agree on one thing?
What's that?
Piccolo's best dad?
He's definitely best dad.
Piccolo's best dad.
He's the best green boy.
Let's talk Piccolo right quick. Piccolo's best dad of all time.
Absolutely.
He raised Gohan to be from
This dude's not his kid. This dude is not the same, like,
race.
Not even race.
He's not even the same, like, species.
Planet.
Yeah.
Species. Insane.
And he's still...
And he used to be a bad boy.
Not just a bad boy. Goku's bad boy.
Yeah, the bad boy.
The bad boy for Goku for basically the second half of Dragon Ball straight up.
Right.
And he 180'd because Goku sacrificed himself, and Goku said, Piccolo, take my whiny bitchy child who might have battle potential. And he's like,
since
all right.
I'm dead,
all right,
let's not just be a little bit cognizant of that.
I'm not gonna, because Piccolo had every right to just be like, bah, get out of my face, like, go survive in the wilderness. Oh wait, he did that.
No, he was a good
cared.
Dude,
and
for sure. And he's like super tsundere.
Super tsundere. And I mean, that's the one thing too, is like with Goten as well, who's the one who taught them the fusion technique in the end.
All right. We know
Piccolo
that he's the best
is best dad of all Shonen time, and we all know it. It's so good. Oh, man.
Truly.
Piccolo's my boy. Piccolo's my dude. He was absorbing people left and right just to protect Gohan. He even sacrificed himself for Gohan.
Rips off his arms constantly for that shit.
Yeah, Goku sacrificed himself for the planet. Whatever. Piccolo specifically sacrificed himself for Gohan because that's his boy. That's his kid.
It is his little boy.
That's his little boy.
His little Saiyan baby boy.
So,
that was a good episode, Rick.
I could dig that. So what are we talking about next time?
So next time, I think we're gonna talk about.
Let's talk about hype. Let's talk about hype next episode. Yeah, let's talk
about hype.
Because hype is an interesting concept in the anime community, and I want to talk about what signs of a show to you and I are like, okay, this show is worth hyping, and can hype inadvertently dampen the show's actual experience?
Does it make it better? Does it make it worse?
I don't know. We'll talk about it next time. And I think the other one too is gateway anime. You know,
totally.
You got stubborn friends, people who may be into nerdy culture or maybe not at all. How do you
bring them back?
How do you bring them bring them back into the fold? It's sad to see them when they kind of fall out.
When they leave, it makes you cry.
You want to go on and get like real jobs in like sports? I don't know. It's weird.
What the hell is that?
What is a sport? Is that like Prince of Tennis? Like what is that? But yeah, let's talk about gateway anime and how you can get your boys or ladies back into the fold. You know? Let's do it for everybody.
Sounds good.
2018, 2019. All
right, guys. Thanks for listening. We really enjoyed this and watching.
And
I'm gonna
try this every once in a while.
We'd like if you can, leave an honest review on our iTunes. That reviews really help podcasters out a lot.
Pretty much. We are thirsty. We are thirsty for stars. Give us 5 stars.
Preferably 5.
Preferably 5. If you find a way to code in a 6 star, do it. Yeah, make it work.
We'd love it.
Yeah. If you want to rate it twice, watch this and watch that. Why not? Give us a thumbs up on YouTube. That'd be pretty great.
We'd like a like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, one of those.
We'll try to do more teasers like this throughout the year.
Oh my God. So yeah.
So yeah, thanks guys.
I'm Ricky.
And I'm Ethan.
And this has been Weebology.
Deuces.
Deuces.